Good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another live. It is smart financing for your dream home, crafting your ideal home. And tonight we are going to be live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Twitch.com, and Instagram. So feel free to participate on your platform of choice. As always, it is a pleasure to have you join me. And who am I? Well, I am a very friendly guy that goes by the name of Hugo Quintanilla. Sorry, that was supposed to be a lot more subtle. I didn't think it was gonna jump cut like that. How are you? I am Hugo Quintanilla. I am licensed in Maryland with Long and Foster, North Potomac, Rockville. Hit that QR code up at the top if you want to see my website and learn a little bit more about real estate and my professional side. But today we're going to be talking about another topic in the home buying kind of mindset because we're getting ready for the next year, the year to come. We had some great comments from the Fed today. So, very exciting to see what everyone's sentiments is going to be about next week. But the economy feels like it's going great. There are some quite standout stories like Tesla and things like that have made headlines today. But, the long and the short of it, the real estate market is still chugging along. I'm seeing more and more properties start to come on, which is very promising. And yeah, all in all, it's an exciting time to be in real estate. We're really seeing a lot of new innovative ideas. I'm meeting a lot of great people that are doing a lot of really interesting things when it comes to real estate and the future of real estate. So, I am very appreciative of all of you letting me be a part of that. And again, thank you to anyone that's reached out. I will get back to you. But today we are going to be talking about smart financing and what you can do to set up a budget. Because remember, getting qualified to get the home is not just the end all be all of this whole operation. We actually need to be able to pay our home. I was just looking at a home that got foreclosed on. I'm really excited about because I know that it's at a great price. I know that it's going to appreciate well, but I'm very scared that it's going to have multiple offers on it already because of the market. So I'm going to talk to my clients and see if they're interested, but that place looks great. Um, what else can I tell you? It's best to have the stuff ready. When you budget and you prepare, when a realtor or someone that you're working with calls you and gives you a tip off like that, knows about what you're looking for and wants you to succeed, then you can make those gut decisions and not feel bad about it because you know that, hey, this money is ready, willing, and able for when the opportunity arises to do something with it. And the goal would be to maximize the profits with this money, not really let it sit and rot in a bank account somewhere, just earning a meager savings interest account worth of value. Really, it takes time to make money that way, and no one gets rich that way. But if you think about sound investments such as real estate, such as a few other, positive investments like what ETFs and IRAs and stuff like that, there are a lot of options that you can look into that will give you money in the long run, dividend stocks. But, you know, the long and the short when it comes to real estate is that you're looking for long-term returns, not, 20, 30, 40% returns. We're talking like 3 to 6% returns a year and just steady appreciation more than anything else. And a home, a place that we can call our own until we don't need it anymore. And then we can either keep it part of our portfolio or, let it go to someone else and sell it to them for a fair and reasonable price. But let's get started on today because these last few sessions have been really fun and a little bit longer. I've been doing a lot of research on them. So there's been a lot of extra information I wanted to add, but I know you guys are busy. Number one, analyze your income. Start by evaluating your stability and regular income as they will form the basis of what you can afford. Don't make yourself dreams of like, hey, I'm gonna get this promotion, then I'm gonna do this and this. No, we need to talk about the chickens that have already hatched, the not the ones that are still sitting in the basket with the Easter bunny. We need the things that we know about. We need the verifiable income, because that's what our lender is going to use to continue the transaction and to help us get qualified. Number two, debt to income ratio. Keep an eye on it. Lenders typically use this ratio to determine your borrowing capability. It's a percentage of your monthly income that goes towards your paying debts. A lower DTI can help you qualify for better mortgage terms. That's what we always say, at least a third or below, and that's no more than a third. So, of your take home pay, and that includes all your debts, such as student loans, cars, repayment programs, debt consolidations, collections, anything that is on your debts list, that all counts against you and keeping you from owning a home. So, that's number one key that I tell my clients is, are you debt free? Because purchasing a home can be very difficult in a very similar situation when it comes to credit. So, for example, a person that has 96% credit utilization but makes, theoretically, what, $120,000 a year is less powerful than someone that makes 120,000 and is, say, 10% credit card utilization. It really can make a huge difference how much the bank will lend out to you. And that can really make the difference of where you buy your next home. So the lower your debt amounts are every month, and your monthly payments are on all levels, your subscriptions, your debts, your payments, everything, the better it is, bigger home you'll buy, the more you'll thank yourself tomorrow. A lot of this stuff is sacrificing now for a better tomorrow. And understanding that, swallowing that pill, and going forward that way can really make the difference between stability, not just today, but into the future. We've been talking a lot about what Steve said when, in regards to the energy that you put out 90 days ago, how it is what shows up today. It's very true. What you put out into the past is what sets up your present, and what you put out into the present will set up your future. So take time to manage your finance and get a hold of it. Get a hold of your expenses. Number three, consider all home ownership costs beyond the mortgage payment. Factor in property taxes, homeowners insurance, homeowners association fees, and maintenance costs. This will give you a more comprehensive view of what you can afford. A good rule of thumb, $200 to $300 extra. Just throw it on top there, and that'll give you more or less of a ballpark of where you're looking at when it comes to your expenses. Now, it could always be more, and we have debt calculators that can help you figure that out. But knowing how much your home ownership costs are going to be year to year can make it so it's not surprising. Okay, this is going to be how much my home is going to be a year, because the mortgage is one thing, that's one payment, but then property taxes, insurances, those are all things that are outside, and you have to keep some financial stability and also some savings just in case there's an emergency, busted roof, water main, something breaks. You got to have some money. So it's not just about getting ready to buy the home and being able to pay the home. It's also about having this continued stability to make sure to manage the home. It's kind of like a business. So I am very hard pressed to find people that have bad businesses that have bad situations at home. They tend to manage their homes very well if they have a very successful business. It kind of goes hand in hand. You know how to manage things. Number four, emergency fund. Ensure you have a solid emergency fund in place before purchasing a home. Unexpected expenses can arise, and have a safety net. And having a safety net is crucial. It is better for you to have a big safety net than to have a small safety net and a big debt. I would always want to sell you a home. Yes, I'll be honest with you. Selling you a home makes me money. But at the end of the day, Is it financially savvy for you to do it right now? If you're not going to be staying in the same place for a long time, if you're not going to be um, with enough job security to maintain a property, if you are unsure of what you're going to be doing in the next 5 years, maybe buying a home is not the key for you right now. It's also something that you have to think about with balance, and we'll talk about that more with your work life and with your lifestyle. You know, where do you work? How do you want to live? These are all things that you're going to have to compromise with the market that we have in the area that you want to be in. So let's continue and we'll talk about it more later. Number five, down payment. The size of your down payment affects your mortgage rate, monthly payments, and the need for private mortgage insurance, PMI, the dreaded PMI. A larger down payment can lead to more favorable loan terms. PMI is one of those things that below 20%, it is an added fee that assures, basically an added expense that assures that the loan is going to be paid for, and it secures the mortgage for the lender in case the person fails to pay within that 20% period. Once you make that 20%, you can apply to get that removed, and it will lower your costs somewhat. So every month, that's a very easy way. After you build up that 20% equity, you can remove that, and it's a very easy way to take off, a couple dozen dollars from your monthly bill, maybe even more, hundreds maybe. Number six, pre-approval. Getting pre-approved for a mortgage gives you a clear idea of what lenders are willing to offer you based on your financial situation, helping you narrow down your budget range. I love how much people want to buy houses. But a house nowadays in this area is anywhere from $440,000 to about $560,000. So, keeping that in mind, the person that maybe comes in says, "Hey, I want a home. This is how much home I want to buy." They don't understand how much home they're renting is in regards to how expensive it is. So it's a kind of a sticker shock. I've had people that are spending $3,000 a month or more, and they find out, hey, I want to buy, and they realize that what they're actually spending at home where they live now is actually more cost effective for them, because otherwise the expenses would be just so much more if they actually own the property. There actually wouldn't be a way for them to purchase a property like that, because the property like that is, you know, 700, $800,000. It's not a cheap property that's renting for 300,000 at this point. At this point, we're talking about properties that are typically anywhere from the 550s up to the 700 ranges. Um, Probably even more, because at $3,000 a month, that's a pretty nice home. Number seven, future plans. Consider your long term income stability and future expenses like starting a family or career changes. This might affect your ability to afford your home in the long run. Again, lifestyle, where you want to be, what do you want to do? I think one of the hardest conversations I had with someone was whether or not they should decide to have a child now, or if they should buy a home. And it's really a decision you have to make with your partner and make with your family, and you know stick to the plan. It's not just about deciding it now and then, you know inevitably having a baby, but it's one of those things that's a time and a place, and you can plan it all out. You can take time and plan it all out, and there are ways to make it all work. It's just being a little bit patient. Sometimes we want everything at the same time. And then also being careful, being consistent, because it does you no good rushing to the finish line when you miss the whole journey and the whole point of getting there. So, take sometimes solace in the delays that happen in your journey, but take into consideration that you do have a journey, that you might grow, that you might build up and see and want to see other things. And if travel is important to you, if having a big emergency fund, if having job security, if all these things are something that are concerns for you, then these are things that might be more important than necessarily owning a home. Maybe being more efficient and cost effective on where you lease might be the important thing. I think also we spend a lot on too much home. There are people that I know that are renting out townhouses for themselves, spending thousands of dollars when they could easily live in a room. Do they want to live in the room? No. But, you know, at the end of the day, most people feel that if they earn the money, they deserve a nice place. And we all feel that way. I think that's why we work. But it's getting expensive. So just mitigating your expenses and always reminding yourself of your priorities helps keep the vision and the mission in mind, because you can't forget the plan. If you forget the plan, you get distracted, and then 10 years go by and you haven't done anything. You're still leasing. It's a day by day fight to try to be better and do more and excel and try to get this money to buy this house. It's unless you're going to work 19 jobs, you're got to be smarter about how you save and how you use and how you make money. So, number 8, closing costs. Don't forget to account for closing costs, which can range from 2 to 5% of the purchase price, affecting how much you can afford to spend on the property itself. Now, the price can vary depending on the fees, the type of transaction, how much paperwork needs to be done. It really can be varied. But I usually tell people, uh, about 10% will cover you for a home, 5% down, and then 5% for your closing costs and all your other expenses. And it basically covers you from start to end. So, it's really a simple way for people to get an idea if they have everything else financially ready that they need. If they want to spend, for example, 400,000, they need about 40,000 ready to get going, about 10%. Number 9, quality of life. Ensure your budget allows for some disposable income from after all house related and living expenses. You should be able to enjoy your life and not feel financially strained by your mortgage. Again, this is stating and talking about the need to be human and enjoy your life. It's not all about working to pay this bill. You're going to stress yourself out, you're going to burn yourself out, and really this is why we tell people don't spend everything that they approve you for. Your loan officer will approve you for much more than that you might even need. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to understand how much you want to spend, how much home you need, and how much you can pay off. Because remember, the goal is to pay this off in half of the time than the loan that we get, because that's really where we make the money in the buildup of saving ourselves the interest. So the years that we cut off in interest can really help us make ground in equity. So, taking time to understand how to manage your money and be honest with yourself. If you like taking trips, save money for those trips. Like I said, if buying a home is going to stop you from living your life, then it might not be in the cards for you. But if having a steady place to live, having a safe place to be, having a home is important to you, or a necessity for you or for your family, then maybe you might have to change the quality of life that you have and some of the things that you do in your life. There's a great or wait a great reel that I had with Marvin Vahey, where he talked about how as you get those first few years under your belt, you end up changing your lifestyle. But you still do the things that you used to do before, but now you do them at home. You do them, more inexpensively. You enjoy them a different way, but you find ways to still enjoy life and pay your bills, because the priority is to pay your house and make sure that you're coming up with that income for that home every month, because we don't want to lose that roof over your head. Number 10, flexibility. Market conditions can change, and so can your personal circumstances. Set a budget range rather than a fixed number, allowing flexibility to adjust as needed during your home search. It is all about flexibility, especially in these next few years. You will more than undoubtedly hear a ton of stories of how, oh, this market is doing this and this market's doing that. I'm sure it's going to be a just I don't even have the words for it. It's just gonna be a circus. I'm sure the once the summertime, gets to people, once people's, heads start getting heated up, it's gonna be a madhouse. But at the end of the day, it's all about making a budget, setting out the time to understand the finances, setting out your goals, and doing what works for you. Don't feel pressured to buy a home. Don't feel like your family is telling you to do it. To do it. Do it when it's right for you. Do it when you know that you have money, that you have an emergency fund, that you have these other things. But also, don't be scared of success. If you have these things, if you have your down payment, if you have your closing costs, if you've educated yourself, if you've talked to a realtor, if you've already done some applications, take the step. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it might not be the best time to buy, but buying a home is one of the best things you can do. Your net worth will multiply to the value of the home and then some. And it's really, I could go on and on about the benefits of owning a property, but I think that that's for another class at this point. So if you're just joining us today, we are talking about smart financing for your dream home, crafting your ideal home buying budget. The quick and short list is: number one, analyze your income; number two, debt to income ratio; number three, consider all home ownership costs; number four, have an emergency fund; number five, be ready with a down payment; number six, be pre-approved; and number seven, understand your future plans; and number eight, understand closing costs; number nine, maintain a good quality of life; and number 10, remain flexible. By carefully considering these factors, you can set a realistic home buying budget that aligns with your financial health and lifestyle needs, ensuring a smoother and more enjoyable home buying process. That's what it's about. It's not about just rushing out there and buying a house when, the going's good. It's about buying a property that's going to serve you. And if it's not the property that serves you, then let's wait. It's better to wait and find something that will serve us better than to rush out there and get into a bad deal. But also keep in mind that opportunities come and go. And if your eyes are not on the market, if you're not ready, if you get discouraged, if you tune out, that house could come on the market that one weekend and boom, you miss it. I'm in here every single day. I see the market every single day. So I see it when it happens. But clients, unfortunately, they come in and out of the market as they sometimes see fit. Sometimes they get swayed. If your goal is to buy a home in 2024, do it. But set yourself in motion. Do it. Just launch yourself. Try. If worst case scenario, you waste about 90 days trying to find a home, but you've learned a lot more. And the next season, next year, you can start back stronger again. You can see where you need to improve on what things you would have done differently, and maybe even change your real estate counsel by that time. Because, maybe it didn't. So these are all things to consider. We can talk more about how to do a long-term strategy when buying a home. Sometimes it takes a few years, but at the end of the day, it's about working with a professional and someone that's licensed, like I am. I'm licensed in Maryland with Long and Foster, North Potomac, Rockville. My name is Hugo Quintanilla, and yeah, my phone number is 240-389-4846. My email is hugo@lnf.com, and my website is yourrealtorhugo.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was another long one. I was trying to make it short, but you guys are great, and I really do appreciate you tuning in. So thank you so much. I will see you again tomorrow for another good one. Leave some questions so that we can have some good stuff for next week. And Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for all the referrals too. Whoever sent that referral my way, I really appreciate that. That was awesome. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.